Hey Clodhoppers, how you doing today? Guess who's back?
I'm back!
So we went into a town that's about an hour away, hour and a half away, to celebrate Simber's brother's son, so our nephew, his first year birthday,
and then we visited with a neighbor of mine. She lived next door to me when I was in Arlington for 3 years. And then when I moved to another apartment, it was that same complex. So we still got to hang out with each other. And so now anytime I say my neighbor from Arlington, this is the lady I'm talking about. And so we visited with her and she got to see Malachi. And we try to stop by periodically so she can watch Malachi grow. Anyway, I'm glad to be back. I mean, I've been around, but I haven't been in front of the camera much because, as Justin told you, I just haven't been feeling very well. And I still am struggling a little bit. There's a lot of stuff going around here in Texas, but I'm starting to have some good days, and so I'm hoping to be able to get in front of the camera a little bit more. And that's kind of exciting because poor Justin, I know it's been a lot for him to try to keep up with everything. It's a lot for one person to take care of a child at home and do the animals and upkeep of the homestead and the house and take care of a sickly wife. So
yep.
He's like, yes, get better, get better. So, one of the things we are going to kind of talk to y'all about is something that Justin's been mentioning, that we are starting to get kind of antsy about getting our garden going for the spring. And I realize for a lot of YouTubers that are in the northern part of the U.S., it's not time. You know, it's like, okay, you gotta be patient, gotta wait 4 or 6 weeks. And here in Texas, that is sort of true to an extent. There are some crops, though, that if we want to even try to let them have a chance to grow, really now is the time for us to plant them if we're doing direct seeding. So things like cold crops, so like peas, onions, beets, I guess leeks, some lettuce. Usually we can wait a little longer on the lettuce, but we can try to start it. Swiss chard, I think kale, that's another one. So the crops that tend to like cooler weather, now is usually the time that we would need to be planting them. And actually we may be a couple of weeks behind on some of them, but the planting chart that we found that's specific for our zone says we're still in the time frame where it can still produce optimal growth. Now, I say that kind of generically because we're having a colder winter this winter than pardon me, yes, than normal. So one of the risks that we run into by planting at the quote-unquote normal time is if we continue to have freezes like we have been, we will probably lose a lot of those plants that we direct seed. Now, there are ways to protect those seedlings, like if we got some low poly tunnels or cold frames, that would prevent them from getting the frost on them, might keep enough warmth from the ground to prevent the water inside the leaves from freezing. But currently we don't have any of that set up. So we either need to start making some, or we just throw seeds in the ground and take the risk and hope some of them do well. Now, if we only did a small number of them, we could always purchase I think it's called a cloche. Basically, it's like a glass bell that you invert or you set on top of the plant whenever there's going to be freezing temperatures, and it insulates just that plant. But, you know, those are not cheap because you need them heavy so that they don't just get blown over by the wind. So that's why it's made out of glass. And if we've got several plants, that adds up really quick. Now, something my parents have done in the past is they've actually used things like coffee containers. And once they empty out a coffee can or a coffee container, usually they'd use the plastic, they'd put that over the plant. And that works to keep the frost off overnight. But you have to make sure to remove them every day during the day, like in the morning, so that the plants are able to have enough sunlight during the day that that it doesn't adversely affect them. So that can work too, but it is more work in the long run. So we still want to make a greenhouse using the cattle panel like we talked about in our 5 goals for 2018 on the homestead. Or maybe I guess I should say 5 homesteading goals for 2018. But we do not currently have a vehicle, we don't have a way to transport them to our house. I've been thinking about maybe seeing if some of our church members would be willing to help us out one day when maybe they're having a sale at TSC for the cattle panels, and just getting several all at once, because we don't have a vehicle big enough and we don't have a trailer. So basically we just need some help. But you know, if it doesn't happen this year, it'll happen next year, and we just do what we can with what we've got. So that's kind of our vlog for the day, I guess. Oh, I do want to mention that we will go ahead and put a link to that particular planting guide that we are using or planning on using this year. Off Grid with Doug and Stacy actually has a really cool kind of like slide rule
type schedule.
Yeah, type schedule that doesn't go based on zone. It goes based on when the time frame the plant needs to reach maturity, and then you use your frost date and the slide that's there to be able to adjust it to your location, which is really cool. We just don't have one of those, and since we have this one and it's specific to our growing zone, we're going to use that this year. So this particular growing chart is for zones 8A and 8B. So if you're in those areas, make sure to check out the link below.
Yep.
Well, it's good to see y'all again. Hope y'all have a blessed day.
And we'll see you guys maybe Monday. We'll see you about tomorrow.
Bye, Cloudhoppers.
Bye. Hey Cloudhoppers, thanks for watching the video. Push the thumbs up to like the video. Also hit that subscribe button, also the bell, so that you can get notifications when our videos come out.
Check us out on our social media pages too. We have Facebook and Pinterest, and soon we'll have Instagram. The links are below. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Good job.